didn't struggle with it too much. It's not overly complicated, but I did want to talk about some small areas of confusion that students have. So that's why I want you to watch this. So for the first one, we have the as x goes to 0, y approaches 9. So that's just the limit as x approaches 0 of y is equal to 9. So first thing I want to talk about here for the limit notation is you cannot write this. Okay? You can't just write limit. Okay? You have to write the limit of something. So what is the function? In this case, the function is y. The limit as x approaches 0 of y is equal to 9. For our next one, we have as x gets closer to 3 on both sides. So what that means is, let me go ahead and just practice my left and right hand limit notation. The limit as x approaches 3 on the negative side for f of x is equal to, so f of x becomes increasingly large. So we say that approaches infinity. Okay? That's the left-hand side. The right-hand side would look like this, right? Now, both of those are infinity. So what that means is you would have something like a vertical asymptote at 3, and on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, we're both going up to infinity. So we would say the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x is equal to infinity. And it's okay to write that both sides are going to infinity, so you can go ahead and just write, well, they're both approaching the same thing, so the limit is x approaches 3 of f of x equals infinity. But does the limit exist? Okay, that's the question here. Do the limits exist? Well, if your limit is a number, then yes, that limit exists. But here, the limit is infinity. Can you ever reach infinity? Can you ever equal infinity truly? No. So this limit does not exist. Infinity and does not exist they're not interchangeable, because does not exist does not always apply as an infinity. But if you wrote does not exist instead of infinity, that would be okay. Well, you wouldn't write equals does not exist either. You would write limit as x approaches 3 of f of x does not exist. That's what you would write. You wouldn't say equals does not exist. And that is true, because a limit that is approaching infinity is still approaching it, and you can never reach infinity. So it's never gonna like touch infinity. Like here, if you have 0 and 9, the limit exists. You could still have a hole there, but it's getting infinitely close to y equals 9. It's infinitely close to y equals 9. But I cannot get infinitely close to infinity. It's just going to go up and up and up and up and up forever. I can never be close to infinity. I'm approaching infinity forever and ever and ever, but I can never even get close to infinity. So I just wanted to remind you or let you know that you can say that the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x is infinity. You can say that. Or you can say does not exist. And different people, different books, different mathematicians use different notations. But technically, a limit that approaches infinity does not exist. Like this also doesn't exist. This also doesn't exist. All of these do not exist because you can never really reach infinity. Even the way that I'm writing this is kind of silly. Like I'm saying the limit equals infinity. But you can't really equal infinity. You're always approaching infinity. So I'm okay if you write equals infinity, but just know that infinity doesn't exist.